Hey, fantastic kinder and first graders. So today we're talking about Kandinsky, okay? So he did concentric, meaning little to big or right around each other circles. So we're going to be starting with some crayons. And then if you don't have watercolor paint, you can use marker for the next part. It is up to you and what you have available. So for those of you at school, I'm going ahead and I'm giving you 6 apples. Okay, my first job would be to just draw a very light line separating all my apples. They each have their own space. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start making my circles. So I'm going to, inside this apple, I'm going to start with a very small circle. And then I'm going to make another color circle a little bit outside it. Oh, it looks like the same color, so I'm going to switch again. So keep going, adding different color concentric circles around the outside. Experiment with your colors. See what color choices you like together. At the end, I'd love to hear which ones you like best. Which color choices. Maybe you have a different color combination on the outside of your apple. Okay, I'm going to do it with some greens. Once you've drawn your concentric circles going around, they can go off the side of your page, going around and around and around, your next job is going to be to paint over it. So we're experimenting with color combinations today. Okay, I have one. I'm going to do one more before I start on my coloring. This one, I think I'm going to go hot colors on the outside, cold colors on the inside. You can make them up however you want. This is just my choice. So I'm making a circle around my apple. I'm using another hot color, going around that first one. If you want to color these a little thicker, go for it. The lines can be thick, the lines can be thin, but the lines should be curved, right? Because circles are made up of curved lines. All right, so I have my hot colors around the outside. Okay, now I'm going to go to the inside. I'm going to switch to my cold colors. So maybe I'll do a little blue spot to start. I'm going to do some greens. These circles are going to be closer together than my last ones. I don't want them to be too far apart. Using lots of greens. That's actually a green. And purples and blues. I'm going to keep getting it bigger. I'm going to stay inside my apple, if at all possible. So I'm going around, trying to keeping it inside. If you get to the point where it's filled up, then you're done that apple. All right, so I'm ready to add some color. So I'm going to grab my watercolor paint. This is my first one I'm going to do with watercolor paint. My second one I'm going to do with marker. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my brush in the water. Remember, I'm tickling the paint. Tickle, tickle, tickle. And then I'd like to add some purple in here. I'm going to add some purple out here. Again, you are combining different colors and seeing if you like the combinations. I'll take some blue on the inside here. So you're going ahead. You have darker values using less water. So on this first one, I'm just using paint. I have some purple paint. I have some blue paint. Maybe I'm going to use some green paint. All right. Now, I'd also like these leaves to be green. That's up to you what color you want your leaves. Now my outside, I'm going to do some orange. And each of these little spaces that you made, you're going to try and do your very best to paint. There is no right or wrong combination of color. This is a day where you can see what the colors look like next to each other and see if you like them. It's okay to make something you don't like this one right now. I don't like the yellow next to the green. You might, but I would prefer a different color. So remember your water paint paper every single time. And I keep going. This one is a darker value. If your colors bleed together, that's also okay. Try and stay inside your little racetrack, okay, in between each color. And then I'm going to just do my last one right here. Coloring it in. So if you don't have paint at home, this is just what you would do if you have paint or in class. So if you don't have paint, another option is to use markers, but then you'll also get a chance to paint. So that's one of my colors. Okay, I'm going to go a little closer. Perfect. Now for the next one, I'm going to switch and use marker. So I have crayon drawn, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my marker. I'm going to be careful because I don't want to get my waxy crayon on my marker because that won't be very nice on my marker. It won't look very nice. I already did with this one, unfortunately. And I'm going to fill in between those circle lines with marker. And then I'll show you what's going to happen. Try to keep your marker off your crayon. Okay, so guys, after you fill that with color, I have really small tips and my markers are running out, but it should still work. So let's check it out. I'm going to go ahead and get my brush wet, and I'm going to paint over top of the cold colors first. And see how that blue is turning into paint. Same thing with that green and that purple. So I'm going to paint right over the top. Getting nice colors here. So before I go to the outside of my apple, I'm going to just make sure I get all my cold colors painted in. And now I'm going to switch and wash my brush out, and I'll do the hot colors on the outside. So that might happen if you go right next to your, went right next to my green. And so it bled right over. So you might say, okay, I don't like the combination of the hot and cold colors together. So maybe next time you choose a different combination. So I've got nice red. I left the inside of my apple white. You do not need to do that, but you can. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, okay, I like the way those look. You guys have a lot of ways you can do this, and I hope you have some fun experimenting.